Hello students, this is Vijay Ocean. In the last lecture, we have studied about reversible, irreversible and adiabatic work of expansion. So, in this lecture, we will study the entropy change in ideal gas with temperature and pressure. So, what is entropy? So, we know that entropy is nothing but the disorderness or randomness in the system. So, what is the entropy change in ideal gas with temperature and pressure? So we have considered, suppose 1 mole of ideal gas is occupying a volume V at a pressure P and temperature T, and dq is the amount of heat supplied to the system. Then the increase in entropy is given by, we know that the Clausius equation, that is ds is equal to dq reversible upon T, that is change in entropy is the ratio of change in heat for the reversible process to the temperature. This is called as equation 1. But for the reversible process, the first law of thermodynamics is dq reversible is equal to dE plus dW maximum. So why we have written here dW maximum? Because we know that for the irreversible process, work done obtained is irreversible process is 0. But for the reversible process, the maximum work done is obtained. Therefore, we have written the first law of thermodynamics that dq is equal to d plus dw. But for the reversible condition, the first law changes to dq reversible is equal to dE plus dW maximum. Therefore, dq reversible is equal to dE plus what is the dW maximum? It is P into dV, that is pressure into volume. This is called as equation 2. Combining equation 1 and 2, what we can write? ds is equal to, what is the value of dq reversible? Dq reversible is nothing but d from equation 2, dE plus PdV. Therefore, we have substituted the value of dq reversible, that is dE plus PdV upon T. So by dividing this temperature to both dE and PdV, we get ds is equal to dE upon T plus PdV upon T. But we know that Cv is equal to dE upon dt, that is heat capacity change at constant volume is nothing but the ratio of change in internal energy, that is dE, to the change in temperature. So it is the heat capacity at constant volume, Cv. And for the Cp we can write dH upon dt, that is heat capacity at constant pressure we can write change in enthalpy to the change in temperature. And for the change in heat capacity, for heat capacity at constant volume, we write dE upon dt. Therefore, we can write dE is equal to Cv into dt. This dt is divided here, so it gets multiplied. But we know that our equation, that is ds is equal to dE upon T plus PdV upon T. But what is the value of dE? Value of dE is Cv into dt. Therefore, ds is equal to Cv into dt upon T plus PdV upon T. But for 1 mole of ideal gas, we know that the equation, that is Pv is equal to nRT. But for 1 mole, we can write Pv is equal to RT by substituting value of n is equal to 1. Therefore, how we can rearrange for the pressure? For the pressure, we can write P is equal to RT upon V. This is called as equation 3. Therefore, by substituting the value of pressure in this equation, therefore we can write ds is equal to Cv into dt upon T plus what is the value of P? P is RT upon V from equation 3, RT upon V into T into dV. Therefore, this T and T gets cancelled. Therefore, this equation can be written as ds is equal to Cv into dt upon T plus R upon V into dV. Integrating this equation by using Cv as a constant. So if we integrate this equation, we know that Cv heat capacity is constant, R is a gas constant, both are constant. Therefore, integration of 1 upon T into dt is ln T and integration of 1 upon V into dV is ln of V. Therefore, this equation can be written as ds is equal to Cv into ln T plus R into ln V plus S0. So, this equation can be written as S is equal to Cv ln T plus R ln V plus S0. So here new term is added, that is S0. So S0 is nothing but the integration constant. But for the initial state, we can write S1. For initial state entropy, S1 is written as CV ln T1 plus R ln V1 plus S0. This is called as the equation 1. For final state entropy, we can write as S2 is equal to CV ln T2 plus R ln V2 plus S0. This is called as equation 2. Therefore, by combining this equation, that is final state entropy minus initial state entropy, we can write S2 minus S1 is equal to delta S is equal to CV ln T2 minus T1 plus R ln V2 minus V1. Therefore, we can write for delta S as CV ln T2 minus T1 can be written as ln of T2 upon T1 plus R ln V2 upon V1. So this is the change in entropy for the process, that is CV ln T2 upon T1 plus R ln V2 upon V1. So for change in pressure, how we can write? For change in pressure, P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. Therefore, for P1 upon P2, how we can write? P1 upon P2 is equal to V2 upon V1. Therefore, by substituting value of V2 upon V1 as P1 upon P2, we got the equation delta S is equal to Cp ln T2 upon T1 plus R ln, what is the value of V2 upon V1? That is P1 upon P2. So this is the equation for change in entropy with respect to temperature and pressure. So there are some conditions at which the entropy is defined. So if at a constant pressure is considered and at a constant temperature is considered. So if the pressure is constant, that is mean by P1 is equal to P2. If P1 is equal to P2, this whole term becomes 0. Therefore, the equation can be written as delta S is equal to Cp ln T2 upon T1. And in the next condition, at a constant temperature, that is T1 is equal to T2. If this T1 is equal to T2, this whole term becomes 0. Therefore, we can write delta S is equal to R ln P1 upon P2. So, these are the conditions at a constant pressure and at a constant temperature. And this is the variation of entropy at with respect to temperature and pressure. So, next point is the Helmholtz and Gibbs function. So, first we will study Helmholtz function and it is denoted by symbol capital A. So, we know that the equation, that is the Helmholtz free energy, A is equal to E minus Ts. So, what is E? E is nothing but the internal energy, T is temperature and S is nothing but the entropy. So for initial state, Helmholtz equation can be written as A1 is equal to E1 minus T1 S1. And for the final state, equation can be written as A2 is equal to E2 minus T2 into S2. Therefore, change in Helmholtz free energy, that is delta A, can be written as A2 minus A1. Therefore, delta A is equal to, what is the value of A2? A2 is equal to E2 minus T2 S2. And what is the value of A1? That is E1 minus Ts1. Therefore, E2 minus Ts2, T2S2 minus E1 plus D1 into S1. Therefore, delta A can be written as this E2 minus E1 is combined in a one bracket and minus T2S2 minus T1S1 is combined in another bracket. Therefore, we can write delta A is equal to E2 minus E1 can be written as change in internal energy, that is final state internal energy minus initial state internal energy, and it can be written as delta E minus T2S2 minus T1S1, and delta E represents increase in entropy for the isothermal condition. At a temperature, if the temperature is constant, T is constant, therefore we can write delta A is equal to delta E minus T delta S. So this is the equation for the Helmholtz free energy. Change in Helmholtz free energy. If the temperature is constant, that is T2 is equal to T1. Therefore, T is constant, is taken outside. Therefore, equation can be written as delta A is equal to delta E minus T delta S. So this is the equation for change in Helmholtz free energy. So what is the physical significance of Helmholtz free energy? So by the definition of entropy, we know that delta S is equal to Q reversible upon T according to Clausius equation. Therefore, for the Q reversible, we can write Q reversible is equal to T into delta S. Therefore, we can write delta A is equal to delta E minus Q reversible. Therefore, we know that according to first law of thermodynamics for the reversible condition. So what is the first law of thermodynamics for the reversible condition? Delta E is equal to Q reversible minus W maximum. Therefore, we can write W maximum is equal to Q reversible minus delta E. Therefore, by taking minus side common, we can write W max is equal to minus delta E minus Q reversible. And from equation 1, if we put the value of delta E, we can write W max is equal to minus, what is this? Delta E minus Q represents. So this delta E minus Q represents the value of delta E. That therefore we can write W max is equal to minus delta E. So this indicates that this minus sign indicates that the decrease in Helmholtz free energy is equal to the maximum work done at a constant temperature and at a constant volume. So this is important significance that decrease in Helmholtz free energy is nothing but the indication of maximum work done at a constant temperature and at a constant volume. Next is the Gibbs function, which is denoted by a symbol capital G. So we know that the equation, that is G is equal to H minus Ts. That is H is nothing but the enthalpy, T is temperature, and S is nothing but the entropy. Therefore, we know that what is the value of H? H enthalpy can be written as in the form of E plus PV. That is H is equal to E plus PV. Therefore, we can write G is equal to E plus PV minus Ts. Therefore, we can write for G is equal to E minus Ts plus PV. But we know that A is equal to, according to Helmholtz free energy, A is equal to E minus Ts. And therefore, we can write G is equal to, what is the value of E minus Ts? E minus Ts is equal to A plus PV. So, it is a state function, that is Gibbs free energy is a state function like A, that is a Helmholtz free energy. Therefore, for initial state, we can write G1 is equal to H1 minus T1S1, and for the final state, G2 is equal to H2 minus T2 into S2. Therefore, if we take a difference, that is change in Gibbs free energy is equal to final state minus initial state Gibbs free energy, which can be written as delta G is equal to H2 minus T2S2 minus H1 minus T1S1. Therefore, we can write delta G is equal to this H2 and H1 are combined in one bracket, that is H2 minus H1 minus T is temperature, which is a constant, T into bracket S2 minus S1. Therefore, we can write delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. That is, change in Gibbs free energy is nothing but the equal to the change in enthalpy, change in enthalpy, that is delta H minus temperature T into change in entropy. Therefore, delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. So, this is about the Gibbs function, that is G. So, thank you. So, in this lecture, we have studied the Helmholtz function, Gibbs function, and the physical significance of Helmholtz function. So, the next part of this we will study in the next lecture. Thank you.